Hi everyone, this is Chavigar and welcome back to our tech podcast series. Today we have with us Usama Wahab Khan. He is an amazing person. He is currently the CTO of Evolution Technologies, FZE, and he is an truly amazing entrepreneur at the same time. Apart from this, he is when we'll talk about his like experiences. He's also an MVP, MCT Azure, and has various certifications. I welcome you, sir, today.
Thank you for inviting me. And really, thank you for the whole team, and especially you out there to being an amazing host.
So now, before starting, I would love to know. So you are in various things. You are into your entrepreneurship journey as well. You co-founded various companies, and so how it feels like to be like giving trainings, doing entrepreneur stuff, having your own company. How you manage things and how it feels like to be.
This question more often come up to me, and people ask. Before they ask me how I'm doing, people ask this question to me all the time: that how do you manage things, and how this you end up with all so much things out there. You do cloud, you do entrepreneurship, you have startups, you do trainings, you do community, and now I'm a father of two as well. So it is how all that gets started in the first place. I was never meant to be a technical computer scientist. I never. I started my journey as a medical student in my A levels, which basically we call the default standard, that which basically decide that where you're going to be. Either you end up with an engineering or you're going to be a commerce, wherever the field, the master you want to decide to go. I selected medical sciences. My sister's a doctor, my mother is a doctor, so I have a pretty much legacy in my home that is driving me towards medical sciences. And I find boring, and I'm luckily I'm not a doctor. It's good for so many people, and I able to save so many lives by not becoming a doctor. And it goes towards I find hacking very fascinating. I was very young, saw a couple of movies at that time. It fascinated me. Today I don't know what it's all about. So bad, good, whatever it is. Luckily, I got a great mentor, and his name was Jigdesh. And at that time, we were launching a new website in Pakistan that called parknews.com. And I was in my early 10th standard, I would think so. And I was 16, less than 16, because he cannot hire me because of child labor laws. So he said, I can't hire you. You want to work with me, you cannot be get paid. Because if I hire you because you're under 16, so it will be under child's law. So there's a labor laws out there that you cannot hire children's out there. I need to be in my ID card to get the job. I said, I don't need money. You just give me my commute tickets out there, that from my home to the office, that's all I need. And I want to learn more. And that's how it gets started. And we built that particular website, and we built 200 more websites after that. And the parknews.com today is more than $100 million evaluation. It's one of the largest portals in Pakistan. I'm no longer part of that one since 2008. I left that one, and in early stages out there. It's not early stage after 5 years, but it was something when I started out. At that time in Pakistan, there was not much out there. The internet was on dial-up. So people don't understand. People think how you can make money out of computer. It doesn't. So the Google doesn't exist in the same place, and the ads doesn't like that way. But we know we can make money out of it, and start making money out. And at that time, it was like a 500 to 400,000 rupees. It's pretty substantial money for the kids who just aged just like that. Because I remember when I get my first check, I don't know where I can withdraw that. I don't have an ID card. I don't have anything. I asked my dad, can you deposit in your account? And it was a whole thing. And that gets started. That basically a thing that I keep exploring things out there. I've been into the geographical information systems. I designed Pakistan's and Asia's first local geographical information systems out there, being awarded by presidential awards, which was a great journey. I got a chance to work with so many fabulous data scientists out there. Dr. Palalis, I got a chance to work with in Harvard University in a very close collaboration. And something that drives me, I get bored with the things on the repetitive things. I'm not born to do that. If you want me to do a 9 to 5 a job where I have to repeat things, I will get bored. If you want to find solution for the problem every day, something new I have to explore and learn, I'm pretty much open to it. And I don't never meant to doing a job out there because this is not what my personality is. I need a more freedom. I need a more exploration. I like to do explore technology without boundaries. And organizations, you get the boundary. You select the product. You select the vendor. You specific to it out there. And and I realized that in the early stage of my life that if I can grow, the only way that I can share my knowledge and learn from others. You know, the best teachers in the world, they don't charge you, whom are free. People paid people like me hundreds and thousands of bucks out there to get trained. At the same time, amazing people like you, it's out there hosting unbelievable content for free, and it's more pure, it's more valuable. I do watch these contents all the time, these podcasts, those community channels out there, participating in community. That's where I learn from, and many smart people than me that learn from there. And that's the best thing because people who deliver those things, they are passionate about it. They love to do what they want to do. And I have a passion for the cloud. I do have a passion for data. I have a passion to solve problems, which basically leads me to entrepreneurship side out there. And when I see the problems, I know I can solve them, and I do have a capability to make and convert them into presentable. So initially, I came into the startup business as a mentor because I run a parktools.com. I run 200 sites, so I have a background. I know how it works, how the VCs works, how this whole fraternity work in this particular classification, and I have a great technical background. I get involved in a community. I write books about it, make videos, and I've been awarded almost like a 72 awards in my career, and 53 of them are international, which including Microsoft Community Hero, MVP, Best in Class, Community Contributor of the Year, and tons of them. Reason, fantabulous community, because when I moved to Dubai, 11 years back, I moved to Dubai, and at that time there was nothing out there in Dubai because Dubai is very diverse. People came from a different lands. 80% is Indian, 20%, 10% is Pakistani, Bengalis, and so diverse. So, and they are normally live in Dubai for 3 years, and they try to move either to some other Western countries or to go back where they come from. So nobody persistent here. So nobody runs community. Want luxury, want to enjoy things out there. There's a pretty much sexy spas out there. So let's spend the weekend out there than sitting with the geeks like me. I decided to start up a community. Me and Jamil Haddadin get started the community with the support of Microsoft, and thankfully, and things kicked off. Things shaped up somehow. We hosted multicultural sessions in Arabic. I don't speak Arabic. He speak Arabic. I speak English. He don't speak much better English out there. We can infuse them and try to create a fusion with it. So each session hosted in multiple languages, and we get an amazing response. You can imagine this. Microsoft spent almost like half a million of dollar for one of their event. The total amount of people they able to gather in 2014, it was less than 100. People don't show up. You give them a free goodies, you give them everything out there. People don't, because the job cycle, the life cycle in Dubai was very different what we have today now. People don't have a really connection with the community. They don't know about where the events are happening. It's a very much problem at that time. At the time of Microsoft was so focused on Windows Phone, if you guys remember. That's a little square box thing. And we host another event in parallel. In our first event, we got 400 people. And we do not have seats for them. People sit on the floor. People sat on the floor. We have a conversation in both languages, and Microsoft was stunned. Why? How you pull up that crowd out there? Be able to connect very organically with them, and they teach us. We learn from them, and the journey gets started from there as well. Into the trainings from a very long time. I'm a part. I'm a very honored of my learning achievements, which I share with others. I have able to be very fond and very fortunate to get so many awards and other things. But things that's really give me a joy of my life today, the people whom I train today. I have trained more than 5,000 professionals in my career, and few of them are highlighted ones. The first one I want to mention, her name was Umama. She was no any longer with us. May God bless her. She was 14 when she becomes a Microsoft certified technology specialist. She was the youngest girl on planet Earth to become a Microsoft certified technologist. Then another boy from our team, it was Muhib Iqbal. and we train him at the age of 11 for developer. He's been picked by Microsoft. He's currently doing job for Microsoft. Later on, he joined Microsoft, and we do this thing for the community purposes. We do offer training in the different packages and different technologies at different time, and it forced me to continuously learn and explore so I can share with others. People have a trust on you. When Chitra are going to be a host, there's a session out there, and so people have a trust on you that this session is going to be great, the content going to be great. We're going to know about the data engineering, we're going to talk about the other things, and it will be fruitful. That expectation push you so harder. That expectation take you furthermore, one step ahead from the side out there. And same thing happens with me. And I'm so lucky to have a fantabulous community partners like you and many others around me, which basically drive my this journey to where am I today. So that's
That
whole big journey.
That's actually amazing to hear the whole journey, because when you are having like so many years of experience and you have completed various stuff at the same time, it's actually difficult to just sum up everything in few minutes and say it loud that yeah, I've done this, and this was my experience. That's actually pretty true. So, like understanding everything, not I can say everything, but understanding a bit about you, I wanted to understand that what, like when you see a young entrepreneur, what is that one thing that strikes in your mind, like about their thought process, how they're working? Because when you got started your entrepreneurship journey, you have seen that you have seen that generation gap, you have seen everything, that how technology is changing and how everything is changing. So what is that one thing that comes to your mind when you see and when you understand the thought process of the young entrepreneurs? I would love to know this.
Honestly speaking, I participate in part of the multiple VCs, and every day I see a couple of pitches by the great entrepreneurs. Things that spark you, or any means you go for any pitch, you go for any startup, any VC meetings. People don't bid on your product. People bid on you. People take money. They put their money on you. So the first thing that I personally like to see in the entrepreneur, it's the fire. How much how much energy it has, how much passion he or she have to do things what she's doing, how much she have a belief on it along, and this belief becomes by x 100 if there are two. If there are four with the same belief, you cannot, there's nobody can stop them, literally, whatever. And then the thought process, this is basically decide that where they can reach. Then the second question comes up, can they or cannot? I want to become a millionaire. Everybody want to become a millionaire, but can we or not? It decided by the thought process. More documented, more simplified, and more organized. And it should be straightforward. Means when you see the people talking too much and with the simplest answers can be out there. If you have a clear solution out there, the answer will be simple. If I ask you how you're going to use my money, and if you have a four liners, it just end the pitch. It just close the deal out there. If you're going to taking me with the journey that if money will come and we'll do this and do that, and I read about that book, and because there's a full fashion going on in our areas out there. If you're coming from IITs or MITs out there, you can become an entrepreneur. No. These universities taught you the great leadership skills, amazing technologies, and they are fantabulous ecosystems. But you have to put your own as well. Everybody cannot become an entrepreneur, and every entrepreneur cannot become a successful. So there's always sign of improvement out there. And I believe that without a training can be done, the self-taught training, in-person training, book reading, it's a must. If I don't find that thing in a young entrepreneur and I see the fire, I try to navigate only that part. That I can just be your guide, that you have, sometimes these are alpha males and alpha females, especially females. They are super energetic. They are super amazing. I work so many amazing entrepreneurs out there. And you have to just show them a path, give them a book they can read, and they can make a better decision than me. And they did. They did in past, and my investments really paid me well out there. I When I go to the anywhere teams out there, they need a technical solution, I jumps in. I know how to design architectures, how to work with the distributed architectures, data engineering. I know this space. But when it comes for business decisions, expanding, experimentation, solving problems, if it's my idea, I can own that. But since I'm a part of your idea, you are the one who can answer better. So I can help you to give you the ingredients. Let make me a big pot of biryani. So you can make better. So that's I just help you. I'm not going to cook for you out there. You have to cook it your own because it's your own dish. That's you're famous for, right? So I just try to see these things. Fire and how organized you are means there should be a three-step task out there. There should be an organizational structure out there that you should know what you want to achieve, what are the ingredients you needed, what team you need for that one, and what action plan. Three things. And this will give you how much money you need to burn and how much money you are going to bring on table. That's all.
That was what I can say. It was the answer that I was quite looking for a long, because like that's a really deep thought process that you actually shared with me right now, and that was truly amazing. And now, would love to understand one more thing from you as you like shared about the entrepreneurship thought process. Would love to know that according to you, how things have changed, like when it comes to entrepreneurship journey, or we can say in the startups, how things have changed a lot in these years.
Upside down. It's a whole new story. It's post evolution era, what I call it. Things when the people started before 2008, 2005. The people who started post 2005 means before 2005 and after 2011. I divided into three different areas: before 2005, then 2011, and onwards. Because 2011 is a point where you get the mobile phone revolution and iPhone was everywhere, and 2005 where the web was everywhere. And unfortunately, in our region where we are in it, in whole this Middle East Asian region out there, we don't have a good internet connections. We do not have a technology at that strength out there. At that point, the people are not believing in even Hotmail was the biggest service that ever anybody produced it out there, and we should be very proud of it. But we adopted, when the other peoples have adopted them from us. It's not a Microsoft product; it's a highlighted one, and it's been built in India. It's a proud moment for whole region that we have amazing talent. But now it's become more difficult. Every time I go there, the people said that it's super easy. It's become so much. No, the more resource that you have, the difficult problem is solved. If you do not have anything, you don't need to worry about losing out there. We create so much comfort zone. There's so many cribs out there, there's so many startups, seed funds, there's so much information out there, so much fashion going on out there. There's a whole society out there talk about, oh, I do startups, I work with VCs out there. Everybody VC nowadays, everybody's an angel investor. So investment is literally out there. There's a more investor than the actual product. But the problem identification, the competition, global competition out there, making things on a global scale to make an impact becomes like a seven-figure company out there. It's not that easy that what it used to be out, because you're not pioneer out there. There are very less missing pieces out there. And what you're solving might be another part of the world is already being solved. Like Uber, let's take an example of Uber. Uber is not the new idea. Uber was out there, similar services, taxi services out there in Western world from, I think so, from earlier 90s out there. Even apps just exist for early 2000. I have seen those apps. How they execute this whole business model, that's fantabulous. That's basically gives them an edge out there, and still they're burning money today. So, but you have seen that model with a slight twitch make amazing impact in India. What you call Ola, if I'm not wrong, Ola
Yeah,
cabs, Ola
yeah,
cabs,
yeah.
Ola cabs. But because they understand the local geography, they understand the dynamics there. They twist it. They just send off the rough edges and throw that one into the right ecosystem. In Middle East, there's another app that exists that called Careem, CAREEM. It's a kind of Uber. It's been acquired by Uber at $3.2 billion in 2019 out there. back in the days. So it's now part of Uber, but it's still existing as a separate entity. So sometimes the problem is already solved, but it is not suitable for your region. So you have to identify the problem and have to work. But you have to be very careful with the means you have means so much destruction out there. Be careful with the VC world. I know all the VC going to be just don't like this session about it if I say more stuff, but if you have a good idea, good execution, you need a mentor, and VCs are not mentor. A person who pouring a money in you for the profit, it's not your mentor. Mentor means who can guide you, who can navigate you, who can assist you out there. So it's a navigator. It's not the fuel that you can basically burn to make your company successful out there. And that's the biggest challenge. So many VCs out there, that's problematic for me. I have seen things that they are climbing. I tell you the recent story. In Pakistan, it's a company that basically raised the funding for 64.5 million US dollars, that called Airlift. It was the highest money raised by any company. It's a Q-commerce company, and they were started. They were on every banner of VCs. Everybody want a piece of them. It just fast forward on the air out there. Few days back, 10th of July, they shut down immediately. They have no business. They are just cut off. And the reason behind not they being failed miserably. No, 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 no. Their model still have a potential. But the VCs are not happy because they got what they want at that time. It's a whole thing. I recommend always that a funny. I am a big fan of that TV series that might you have watched that called Silicon Valley. So if you have ever watched Silicon Valley, please take. I know it's very fictional, but there are a few things very fictional. There are very exaggerated few things out there in the series, but it gives you an idea where it's coming from. And I congratulate who Indian community that they have now their own program. I have saw that the replica of the Shark, what they call.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, Shark Tank.
okay.
Like they're actually the
It's
whole process that you just shared was demonstrated actually in like reality. They like the thing that you are like talking about, like choosing what we can say. If you want a mentor in the VC, then
no,
through
Vinci cannot be
through
mentor. Vinci cannot be
obviously.
mentor.
Obviously, I can understand that, but still there are various entrepreneurs. They will never ever get this. So through that show, I would just say one thing, that at least this thing was somehow being clear to them in a very bit, that you at least find a VC who is in somehow the same domain at least. Else, if you are finding someone who is in, let's say, tech domain, and your product is totally non-tech or something like that, then it won't make any sort of sense to you at least.
Actually, the thing is, I personally noticed that the patience is because when you are young, especially that at your age out there, earlier 20s out there, earliest 90s out there, um, you guys are. I mean, even I was. It's still it's very generic. You are very impatient. That's the energy that you have. Okay, you have to exercise that energy. You want things to be happen just tomorrow morning. I'm still like that today. Okay, it means if I have to buy a phone, I can't even sleep the whole night out there. If I have to buy a new laptop, I have to start a new company, I have to sign a deal, I cannot sleep tonight. Means I'm not able to sleep. If tomorrow I have some good thing happen to me, I won't just happen to now. It happens to many entrepreneurs, and you have to find a process. If you are not good at something, find somebody else who is good at it. It's the biggest mistake that we do in our startups out there, in our especially in a cloud world, especially in a modern SaaS application era. You can't be an expert in everything. There are people who have an expertise and experience and connections over the years they have developed within the B2B scenarios out there. You can't. Means when I built my own product, that we have a product that called Thema Pro, and I'm working with the VC community out there, working with the private equity investment banking, and so I have noticed that there was a missing piece out there for analytics. Uh, the VCs are not very big companies. Investment companies are not very big usually. They're 10, 30, 20 people. and they are coming from a financial background, not from technology background. They need data. Everything runs on data, and they don't have a smart data skills. They learn private equity, investment banking, financial modeling. They valuation, their shine is their actual jam is this particular area. And when the market offered them a solution, was different. Market offered them a technical solution. You have to go for the training. You can't expect the person who's withdrawing almost like an $500,000 just for the salary out there and went to so big places out there, for might be from Harvard or some other places. He going to attend a course out there for with the geeks like us. It's never happens. The problem does exist. They bought solutions and it never works because for them it's Chinese. No offense, but they cannot read that. They cannot use that. And I come up in that particular era. I learn both sided. I try to connect these two wires out there. I built a product which built on their language, which I hired them to help me to build that. I didn't hire a technical architect first to build my product. I hired one of my friend from very prestigious university from India out there to help me to design the small process out there. So this is very important for us that today we have served our solution to one of the largest fund on the planet, and that today my software analytical solution that we have built is being used by is currently managing almost 35 billion US dollars investments on my software. They all the analytics, all the machine learning, everything in a single place, and they don't have to even write a single line of code. They don't have to learn anything. All they need to know, if they know Excel, it's more than enough. You're overqualified.
That's truly amazing. Actually, that was actually, what should I say? I'm somehow speechless because this was a truly amazing podcast with you. Because the thought process that we just discussed and the things that we discussed, and it was totally a proper deep conversation we just did. So thanks a lot for joining in today, and it was really great, recording with you. And it's my pleasure to have you today for
Thank you.
the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.